Right, now on to sheep, using our calipers again, but look at this. The angle that we've caught this sheep here, its front left leg appears to be actually halfway along its body between its tail and its nose. And this is reflected in the line drawing where we've got two blocks representing the whole body, and there's the left front leg just pointing slightly backwards but right in the middle of the, shall we say, the structure. Now for the little lamb in the right background, all we needed was a small square and a few triangles for the head and the legs, and there's the basic shape. It takes about 15 seconds. Right, now coming back to the main sheep in the foreground, you can see how easy it is to get the realistic outline, constantly referring to the photograph, and similarly for the little lamb as well. Now on the left we just put in a back view of a sheep that started off as a square, and basically a triangle underneath to represent the legs. Right, now this time I've produced a warm grey with raw sienna and just a touch of ultramarine blue. Don't do it equal parts because it'll end up as a green, but most raw sienna and a touch of blue just gives you that sort of very pale warm grey. Now I've just created a little mini landscape. I've put a little bit of ultramarine for the sky and a little bit of raw sienna in with a touch of ultramarine for some grass. But you can see how well that grey works using the basic raw sienna ultramarine blue mix. Now while that base colour is still damp, I'm just touching in some ultramarine around the edges of the sheep. You can see it's just blending nicely and giving a nice shadowed effect, quite subtle but nevertheless quite effective. Now this time a darker grey, slightly to the brown side with the burnt umber and ultramarine, and I'm just touching that into the sheep, and really I'm just using the same colour just to drag out a few shadows. Now do you see, by touching a bit of shadow into the sides of these background sheep and on the floor, a couple of streaks here and there, almost a flock of sheep suddenly appear out of nothing. And really, as we know, they're just blobs of colour, they're not sheep at all. There we go, a number of sheep, dead easy to produce, and you can see these two I've added here with the back view and just the ear and part of the head sticking out, no more than a triangle. Very, very simple. And here, as we've looked at many times in previous lessons, just a few blobs of the appropriate colour gives the impression that there's far more of the same of these in the distance. No painting skill whatsoever involved.